Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be walking you through a possible solution for question 2 and the practice activities for chapter 7, section 1. So we'll just start out here by reading the instructions we're given for this question. It says, draw the menu entity as a supertype of the promotional, regular, and other entities. The UID of menu is code. Menu is related to food item through this relationship. Each menu may contain one or more food items, and each food item must be listed on one and only one menu. The UID of food item is a barred UID using its attribute number. Add appropriate attributes to the other entities and be ready to defend your choices. Now, when you first read this set of instructions, you may have thought to yourself, this is chaos, because we're just being thrown so many things at once that we need to do. But don't worry, we're going to walk through it together, and I'm going to show you how to work your way through this question. The nice part about this question is that all you have to do is follow the instructions it gives you. So we're going to make this a little smaller so that I have room to pull up a Lucidchart over here on the side. And we are just going to start by reading the first part of the first sentence and doing exactly what it tells us to do. It says, draw the menu entity as a supertype. So we're going to stop there and we're going to draw a box, and we're going to make it a pretty big box because it's a supertype. There needs to be room for other stuff in there. And then the entity is menu. So we'll call it menu. And it says that menu is a supertype of the promotional, regular, and other entities. So we need to draw 3 more entities. And they're going to be a little smaller because they're just subtypes. And they're going to go inside the menu supertype. And they are called promotional. And then regular will go down here. And then finally we'll have other. Okay, first sentence is done. Next it says the UID of menu is code, so we need to go into the menu supertype and we need to add a UID, and it is called code. Now remember that the UID that's in the menu supertype applies to all 3 of its subtypes. Next it says that menu is related to food item. Food item is another entity, so we'll create another entity and we'll move it over here so that we can make a relationship with it. That may have been way too far, but we'll move it if we need to. We'll call it food item. Okay, and then it tells us what the relationship is, so we need to be able to connect those. Yeah, that was a little far away. That's okay. We'll just move it over. Okay, we know that menu's over here and food items over here, and so now we just need to draw the relationship. So I'm going to read the entire thing, and we're going to start with the optionality after that. It says each menu may contain 1 or more food items, and each food item must be listed on one and only one menu. Okay, it says that each menu may contain, so that means that we use a dashed line, because there's, not for that, because there's some wiggle room in there. The food item may be on a different menu subtype. So there we go. And then it says that each food item must be on one and only one menu. So we draw a solid line. If a food item is a part of this chain restaurant, then it needs to be on a menu. And it says that the food item is on one and only one. So we've finished the food item to menu relationship, but now we need to finish the menu to food item, because it says that each menu may contain 1 or more food items, which means that we need to put a crow's foot on the end of this line to show that 1 or more food item. Okay. Next it says the UID of food item is a barred UID using its attribute number. So food item has a UID called number, so we'll put that in its box. And it says it's a barred UID, which means that we need to put a bar on this side of the line to show that the food item UID over here is used to create the menu UID. Okay, so then the last step of this question is add appropriate attributes to the other entities. So we'll just go ahead and make this a full-size window now. And we need to give some attributes to these entities. We'll start with the food item entity. Now, if we're ordering a food item off of a menu, we may want to know what exactly is on that food item, what that food item is. So we'll give this a attribute of description. And we'll also want to know what the price is. I don't want to pay $50 for a hamburger, so I want to know what the price is if I'm ordering that. So we have description and price. Over here in the promotional entity, we'll give it some attributes. If we have a promotional menu, we may want to know the name so that customers or employees know what that menu is about. You know, if we're using this database to create the menu and to use that information on the menu boards, we may want to know what the name is. And then a start date for this promotional menu. If we're part of a chain of restaurants, we want to know what date we're supposed to start this promotion on so that we're all starting at the exact same time and nobody's getting ahead or behind. And then we'll give it an optional attribute of end date. Some restaurants don't plan what the end date for their promotion is. They just run the promotion until they're out of all of the materials for that promotional menu. And then finally, we'll give promotional an attribute of giveaway. Maybe we're giving away an item as part of this promotional menu, kind of like McDonald's with the Coca-Cola glasses that they used to give away. So next, we have the regular entity. We'll give it some attributes. We may want to know what the menu type is. Since it's the regular menu, we may have breakfast, we may have lunch, we may have dinner menu. They all may be different, so we want to know the type. And along with that, we may want to know the hours that each menu runs. If you're an all-day breakfast person, you want to know if this menu only runs from 8 to noon. So, the hours. Now, we're not going to give the other entity any attributes for the sake of this example because we just don't know enough about what that would entail. So, this should be roughly what your completed diagram looks like. Aside from the attributes that you used, it should look pretty much just like this. We have our supertype menu with the subtypes promotional, regular, and other, and the UID for the supertype is code, which means it applies to all three of these subtypes. And then we have the entity food item with its UID number, and that's a barred relationship, which means that the UID number is used to create the menu UID, and then we've drawn our relationship. So, here is what the final product should look like. Aside from the attributes, they may differ from yours. I hope that this video was helpful to you. Have a great rest of your day, evening, study session. Whenever you're watching this, I hope it's going really well.